I found something I could do, which was easy, but I worked hard at it. I got up early and stayed up late, worked hard that 6 years. But what I did was easy, meaning it was something I could do. You say, well, Mr. Rohn, if it was so easy, how come everybody else around you during that 6 years, how come they didn't get rich? Here's why. It's easy not to. How else would you describe it? That's it. You say, no. For all of the rest of them, it was hard for them and it was easy for you. That's not true. You couldn't debate me on that in front of this intelligent audience. But here's the challenge. Let me give it to you in a philosophical phrase. I tend to be a little philosophical. Here it is. The things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. That's the difference between success and failure. So you've got the choice here today of one of two easies. Easy to or what? Easy not to. I can give you in one sentence how I got rich by the time I was 31. Here it is in one sentence. I did not neglect to do the easy things I could do every day for 6 years. Underline. I did not neglect. That's the key. I found something easy I could do that led to fortune, and I did not neglect to do it. Major reason for not having everything you want in America. Major reason for not having more of what you want in America. More health, more money, more power, more influence, more everything. Major reason why you don't get it. Simple answer. Neglect. Neglect. And here's the problem with neglect. It starts as an infection. And if you don't take care of it, it becomes a disease. And here's what else is the problem. One neglect leads to another. Neglect to do wise things with your money, you'll probably neglect to do wise things with your time. Neglect to do wise things with your time, you'll probably neglect to do wise things with your business. One leads to another, leads to another. Pretty soon, neglect has you by the throat, emptying your purse, emptying your heart, emptying all of your chances for equities and power and all the good things. Neglect. What if you should be walking around the block every day for your good health and you don't? I'm telling you, you're on the wrong track. You should do it, you could do it, you don't do it. That's called formula for disaster. All you've got to do is let that and a few other things accumulate for 6 years, and now you're driving what you don't want to drive, wearing what you don't want to wear, living where you don't want to live, doing what you don't want to do, maybe having become what you really didn't want to become. I'm telling you, that's it. Just neglect along, drift along, and it's got you by the throat. It'll take all your values, leave you with just a little bit of dust in a summer wind, and it'll soon be gone. I hope I said that well. That's it. It's where I found myself at age 25 until my teacher came along and said, Mr. Rohn, up till now you've messed up. Let's see if we can't clean that up, change it all. I did. Changed my life. Not just the money, all the rest of the values that came pouring in when I understood that it was me. It was me. So take the easy approach. This stuff's easy to figure out.
Life responds to deserve, not need. Life was not designed to give us what we need. Life was designed to give us what we deserve. What we deserve. Once you understand that little life principle in your own self-interest, I'm telling you, it's life-changing. The ancient law does not go like this. If you need, you will reap. No, it doesn't work that way. A lot of people out there are hoping it works that way, but no, it doesn't. The ancient law goes like this. If you plant, you will reap. If you sow, you will reap. Somebody says, well, I really need to reap. Well, then you really need to plant in your own self-interest. Your own self-interest needs to be educated in how to plant, how to do it so everybody wins, because life doesn't respond to need. You can't go to the soil and say, I need a crop. The soil just smiles at you. And here's what the soil says. Don't bring me your need, bring me some seed. Bring me some effort. Bring me some discipline. Bring me some interest. Bring me some service. Bring me these things, and I'll return to you multiplied by 2 times, 5 times, 10 times. You can't come with need. You've got to come with seed. You've got to come with willingness. You've got to come with skills. You've got to be willing to learn, willing to change, willing to grow, willing to put yourself out. willing to stand up to the bad weather, willing to pull out the weeds, willing to nurture. That's the only way you get a return.
If it is not the highest and best use of your time, refuse to do it. Somebody says, hi, you got a minute to chat? No, not right now. Got to get back to work. Why don't you go down the hall and talk with him and ruin his career? All right? In other words, just say no at work when people want to do things. You'll find that most people who are going nowhere with their lives want company. And the greatest time waster in work is other people wasting your time. And sometimes they're very nice and they're conversational and they're charming and they're fun to talk to, which is the greatest danger of all, because the law of least resistance says, well, sure, we'll have a little chat and talk and go for lunch and shoot the breeze, because they're such a nice person, and oh my God, the morning's gone and you haven't done anything. And pretty soon you get into a habit of coming to work and finding the nicest person and wasting your time with idle chit-chat. So the rule is, there's nothing wrong with idle chit-chat, but as Drucker says, if you spend more than 10% of your time in social interaction at work, then you are out of control of your time. You are malorganized, and you're going to get a chance to explore new careers very soon. So say no. Say, I'd love to talk to you now. Let's talk after work. Let's talk at lunch. Sometimes I will ask my audiences, I'll say, how much do you get if you work at McDonald's? Everybody knows you get what? Minimum wage. Now, if you went to work for McDonald's, compare this to the way you work today. If you went to work for McDonald's and you went to work there, do you think you could kind of stroll in half an hour after starting time with your Starbucks cup and sit down, chat, and read the paper and do a little email and phone home? And do you think you could do that at McDonald's at minimum wage? No. If you worked at McDonald's at minimum wage and your starting time was 8:30, if you were there at 8:31, all hell is going to break loose. They know that they cannot allow anybody to violate the starting times, or everybody does. You punch in, and what do you do then? When do you go to work? You go to work when? Immediately. Imagine you trying to work the way you work at McDonald's. Can you imagine that? You'll be fired so fast. If you work the way you work during the day, you'd be fired so fast from a McDonald's. My point is, you have to put it on yourself. My friend Zig says, if you will be hard on yourself, life will be easy on you. But if you insist upon being easy on yourself, life is going to be very hard on you. Which means is, say no to anything that is not a good use of your time.